question I would love to ask is, I know that you're married, and you're married for a reason, and there is also other aspects to marriage other than in fact, it's part of the purpose of God, just that it is not about others this time, it's about you. So I want to ask, how were you able to protect your marriage and intimacy while giving your time and resources to others? Like you made mention earlier, you said both of you are interested in people, and even without you saying it, I can see it from the Sunday service and after service and all of that. Anytime, any day I want to see you, I have to wait in a queue. Yeah, like to see Magdi, and that shows how much interested you were in people. So I would want to ask, how were you able to protect your marriage and intimacy while giving yourself and time and resources to others?
Oh, okay. We're not the kind of people who are sophisticated and as well organized. Oh, this is when we're going to have a date, and we're going out and we protect this. We're not really like that at all. We're way more simpler.
Okay.
So for us, and we've been married for quite some time now, it works like this. We just take care, let's say, of God's work, okay? And he takes care of us. That's the general principle. But practically it's this. If we are in a certain situation, so let's say we're in the church and there is a real need that cannot be put on another day or whatever, Susie would wait for me after a meeting. I'm talking about, let's say, when we're in Egypt, beginning of the marriage, she would wait, and she learned to pray. And sometimes I would call her and say, well, you need to come and pray with me now, and she's tired. She woke up 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, and she's been working all day. And I'm saying this at around 10:30, 11 at night, like, come and pray. And she would. And it's not that she's not tired, but she would lean on God. Like, she would come, and she would even sometimes say that in the beginning of the prayer, Father, I'm empty-handed. I don't know what I can do, but here I am. And she would pray and then listen to God, and she, so basically, again, bring yourself back to God. But, okay, you're married, so ask yourself always, did I care for my spouse? Did I care for my spouse? If you can make a habit and ask that question every day, did I care today for my spouse? Okay. Then, okay. And as a rule of thumb for us is, when we are with people, it's about what God wants to do with them. When we are together, okay, it's us. Okay. So then it becomes like, for me, don't focus on yourself. Very tempted all the time.
Yeah.
All the time to focus on myself, my needs, especially when I'm tired or whatever.
Yeah.
But to actually kick myself in the backside and say, did you care for Susie? At least do something,
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Susie does the same. Okay. So yes, you will be tired and you need to rest, but then just add that element and think, did I care? And Susie does the same. And marriage is not that you have it sorted. You keep learning, and getting better at it. Keep learning. So if you've learned some patience, okay, you get to grow in patience. It's not like, tick that box, tick.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you learn to care. It might be that you learn to care 1%. Great. You'll get to grow and be 1.5%, 2%, 10%. Still there is more. Yeah, 15, 20, 50. Okay, that's it.
I when you were speaking about when after you've discharged people and it's now the two of you, you're being tempted to really go, myself this time. It's I think it's just a normal thing for every human being. But the fact that we are now married makes it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's right that, so, okay, Sometimes, let's say Susie's tired, or I am tired, okay? And I just want a me time, maybe just to empty my head, okay? And Susie would, because she's thinking, how can I care? Not just, okay? Or she's feeling as well tired. She'd say, well, okay, like, let him have that time. Let me as well use that time to
for
do
myself as
me
well.
thing, okay? But you see, when she's allowing me to have that time, that's care. She cared for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the hope is that I won't be an idiot, and I would as well think, okay, now I need to care as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you grow.
Selflessness. Yeah.
And then you grow, and it becomes hopefully not the last thing that you think about after you rest, but the first thing that you can think about.
Yeah.
And then you go and rest. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, it does. It really does make a whole lot of sense. It really does. Did any of you at any point think of quitting ministry?
Quitting ministry as just like the side of helping people, or leading
generally. There has never been a time any of you thought of
sometimes
quitting.
I did the ministry, or I'm going to a trip, or I'm going even I'm not feeling it, but not wanting to quit. You see the difference?
Yeah. Like, okay.
No. Did you ever?
I think for me, there were times it was mostly because of feeling inadequate or not good enough, you know.
Yeah.
And it would be the enemy telling me, "Oh, look at you, you're rubbish, you're no good. How come you're doing? How come you're going to help people? Look at yourself.
And, you need help yourself."
Exactly, and he's true. So it's not about me.
Yeah.
And so this is my learning. Susie, stop looking at yourself. You're rubbish. You excuse the word.
Yeah.
But you don't have anything. Yeah, well, you're not supposed to have anything. You're supposed to be submitted to the Holy Spirit and let Him lead through you. Because it's about Him meeting the people, not you being able to feed anybody, but Him using you as a channel rather than you having something to give. And so this is my journey. This is my learning, that when I feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, oh, I shouldn't be here, oh, I shouldn't, maybe I should just quit. It's just because I'm looking at myself and seeing, who am I to do this? Who am I to be part of this? And it's not about me. Yeah, who are you?
This really screams of intentionally working with God. And as you said earlier, not making it about yourself and what you can do. And I know that a lot of Christians struggle with that as well, especially this feeling of inadequacy. A lot of Christians struggle with it, and we've had a solution today. Just make it about God and forget about yourself, and God will have you going.
The more you would settle,
like
for real, deep inside, and we know that verse, like we've heard it, I don't know, a million times. But the more we settle in the reality, the truth of that, without me you can do nothing, and that we want to live and move and by Him and in Him and for Him, okay, the more you will be free. Because I want to live with Him. Here's the thing, you see, we make ministry as like a job, something added that you do. So when I was saying, I don't think as well Susie actually. So Susie is talking about a certain role. But if I'm looking at Susie's life, if someone would just call and say, I would like to come and spend time with you, okay, which is, in one sense, it's ministry, okay? She would always open her heart and always open her door. And she never thought about quitting that. You see? If ministry is not a job, it's just our life with God. Okay? And the more I get to really settle in that, it is my life with God, but actually depends on Him. Even in the hardships or the difficulties, my personal difficulties, my mountains that I need to climb, okay? Oh, I can tell you from here till next year about how many times I tried to make it, okay? And then thank God, in his patience, he teaches me that actually you can't. You can't. Okay. And the more I accept that, and it took me, and it's still taking me time to accept things, I'm happier in doing life. And I'm more settled, I'm more comfortable in it, that it's not about me. Do I still have a way to go and grow in that it's not about me? Oh, absolutely. But so they're not quitting. It's not because I'm strong. No. Actually, it's absolutely the opposite. It's because I came to realize and then to accept and become a little bit more comfortable with, I'm actually quite poor and I have nothing to give. So it doesn't depend on me. So I'll go because actually, anyway, it's not about me.
Lovely. It's such an amazing insight, to be honest. It's such an amazing because as you're speaking, I'm just going through what's going on in my life and the things I'm struggling with, and the ones I'm letting go for some reasons and all of it, and it's making more sense to me. Yeah, the struggles are making more sense to me, and it seems like you're answering some questions that pertains to me personally. So thank you.
Thank God.
Yeah. So before we go ahead, Magdi and Susie have 3 boys, and you know what it means to raise 3 boys. It's four.
No,
Oh,
I'm the
okay.
fourth.
Okay, Susie has 4, and Magdi has 3 boys that he raised, and they are still raising. And I know it takes a lot to parent one child, not to talk of 3, especially in this present age and time. So I would like to ask, how did your children take the ministry part of your lives? I know you said you've made it more like a life with God and not ministry as a job, but I still know that there is an aspect of you that is a parent to children. So how did they see it? How did they take their father having to travel sometimes or most of the time? I don't know the frequency of your travels. How did they get to take that their parents have to wait behind after service to see people? How did they take it? Did they accept it? Did it worry them? Did it give them some sort of displeasure at any point? Because I know that some people into full-time ministry, they end up raising children who actually have a level of resentment for God and his things, or for ministry. They may not actually have resentment for God, but anything packaged ministry, anything to do with that, they don't want to have anything to do with it, maybe because of their experiences with their parents. So I really want to know, how did they take it? How did it become for them? Did it form a lifestyle for them as well, or did they see it differently?
I would say that we live in a day and age that is reacting to the full-time ministry model that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Where kids, missionary kids or pastors' kids and so on, are resentful towards. But as well, that is not balanced. So we moved from, let's say, an extreme to another extreme where everything is about the kids. And, they're feeling bad. Okay. And we kind of decided we're not going to be like that. We're not going to move towards that extreme or that extreme. So I'm not saying we're doing it right, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But we don't believe in that it's all about the kids. And as well, we don't believe that it's all about ministry. We believe it's all about God. Big difference. Big difference. We believe as well that if our hearts are in the right place and our posture is right, then God is definitely, not just because of his faithfulness, but as well in terms of the dynamics that we are providing, how we are posturing ourselves. God is acting on our behalf. So God, in his faithfulness, because he gave us those boys, he loves them more than we do. And he is already acting actually on his behalf towards them. And if we're praying for that, all the more. But as well, if we are positioning ourselves to say, Lord, am I doing right by them? and trying not to listen to the world, and as well not to listen to the flesh, and just be, right. So there is a balance that God can provide. And yes, of course, our kids many times felt like, are we still going when are we going home? It's like as well when you're going on a trip. Like, you shouldn't take that to heart that much. When you're going on a trip, you just started the trip and you're traveling up north or whatever. Are we there yet? That's just kids, okay? But as well, yes, I would travel, and sometimes I had to travel, a little bit more frequently, and they would miss me. Now the issue is, these are normal things in life; they happen. But do you, because you think they're normal, do you keep them happening without then making up for it? Do you spend time with the kids? So when I come back home, what is my priority then? Okay, as I'm around, what do I do? If the kids are finding the balance and actually learning that it's not all about them, but as well they are important and they are loved and cared for, okay, they will become more reasonable, more balanced people. So, for example, we never told the kids that they have to become Christians or to serve. Personally, I felt I will never push them. I will let them discover their journey with God. But I pray that God would get them. Okay? So as they are doing things, they are the ones who chose. So when John, for example, is helping, whether with kids or hospitality, that's his choice. Never pushed him to do anything. When Michael helped with, or is helping in worship, or never. I never asked him to do anything. But once he said, I might be interested in, or okay, I would say, that's
Go for
really
it.
good. And then maybe we would talk about, is that real ministry, or you just like music? Because you like music, you're doing that. And I'm not pushing him out or in. I'm telling him, by the way, there is this and there is that. Okay, and there are people who do, let's say, play in worship or lead because they love music and they love to be on the stage, but actually that's not what is real about it. What is real is that you do it with a heart for God. So it's a learning opportunity rather than, oh, my kid is ministering and they are in the church. Couldn't care less about that, because it doesn't define the reality of their heart. This is just an appearance. What I care for is their heart really for Jesus. Okay? And that is their personal journey. As they say, God doesn't have grandsons, he only has
children.
It doesn't have. So, yeah. But did they struggle with things, whether us staying at church longer or having more meetings at home, another meeting? Yes, they did. Yes. And then they learned and they adjusted. And as well, we learned, it's been, we've been having meetings. I've been out of the country or out of the house a lot. I need to just step back. Okay. And spend time with them,
When they were younger, our oldest doesn't show emotions very much. So he would kind of brace himself, and when daddy's going, he'll be fine. And then the younger ones started, when they started realizing, daddy's traveling, they'd be crying, and then he would go and say, it's okay, daddy's coming back, he will come back. There were times where he would just be with me saying, it's okay, daddy's only going for 3 days or 4 days, and he's coming back. Because when they're little, they don't know, all they know is daddy's going, when,
or he's gone. It doesn't sit well.
But kids are very resilient, and they do adapt and learn. And our kids love people. So there was a season before COVID, we always had, every now and again we'd have somebody come and stay with us for a few days or a couple of weeks or 3 weeks or, and when COVID hit and nobody was going or coming or doing anything, they just felt like, what's wrong? We want people. Why do we not have any people staying with us? And it became part of their life. And that staying late in church, now they're older, so they can go home. They don't want to stay.
And sometimes they're the ones who are staying. And I went home. No, honestly, yeah. And as well, there are things that you need to try and do. So thank God for technology. Now you have, video calls or whatever. So I would travel, especially when they were younger. Okay, and I would make sure I would be on video calls with them every day. Okay, but
and when
still,
there's something important, like if Magdi had to travel and there's something happening, or if one of them has an exam or something, Magdi will call and say in the morning he'll call and pray with them, with him.
Yeah, that's another sort of being present.
Yeah.
You like it's not because you're away, so that
so you're away.
You try and do as much as you can, and you have to learn that as well. But sometimes, life happens,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have to, like my mother was fell, and I needed to go to her, and it wasn't the best time. Okay, but there are things that happen, and the same with ministry. Sometimes, there is an urgency to go and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so lovely. You made mention of you didn't push them, you didn't force them, but you did pray for them. Yeah. But I understand that there is an aspect where teaching comes in. Is there?
Yeah.
I know you didn't push them, but was there any point where you said to them, where you talked to them using the scriptures about living their lives and leading their lives?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
But not so. People, us evangelicals, are very much into pushing for a decision.
Yeah.
I didn't do.
Oh.
I chose not to do that.
Okay.
But the amount of times that I explain, for example, the gospel, or that it is your choice, but as well know that your choice will, there will be consequences, and there is the kindness of God, but as well your choices. God wants you, and died for you. But then, are you responding or not? And all of that. Yeah, and if you delay your response, would that have a certain effect on you?
Okay.
Of course. But without saying, well, hey, look, if you don't accept Jesus now, like you're going to be punished or whatever. So that's not real acceptance of Jesus. That's running away from the punishment.
Yeah, you're instilling fear instead of letting them make decisions. Yeah. That's so lovely. Are there, between the two of you, are there any spiritual habits that helped you stay in tune with purpose and the missions generally? Because I know life gets busy, especially when the kids start coming. There's a lot of adaptations to be made. Yeah. Otherwise, you get carried away. So, are there like spiritual habits and structures you put into place that helped you push through those seasons of life's business and still stayed in tune with the purpose of God for your lives?
The simple things, the normal, foundational, basic things. Stay in the Word, spend time with God, worship, grow in being grateful, grow in gratitude. If you stick to that, even sometimes, and we do get sometimes not to do it from the heart. Okay, it's much easier to for the Holy Spirit to knock on your door. But I have to say as well, when life gets busy and you're drained, and the cares and the burdens of life, in my experience, okay, God was always kind and faithful to come and say, hey, son, what are you doing? Where are you? When he called Adam, where are you?
Yeah.
It's not because he didn't know necessarily where he was. It's like he's drawing Adam's attention.
Yeah.
Look at yourself. Where are you? I found God always kind and faithful, as it is written in Psalm 23. He restores my soul, and then look at this, for His name's sake. It's not even because I asked, or no, it's because He is faithful and He's good. So I don't have any answer that is rocket science. Just the normal things, the normal practices.
We're not people of habit a lot.
Okay.
So I struggle to be organized and to be consistent in doing things. I might start and then struggle to continue, especially if it was me thinking, I ought to do this. And I start and then find out. And maybe there's a place to grow here for me. I know, I know habits are a good thing to develop. And I haven't reached that yet.
Okay.
So so we won't get any else.
That's okay. I asked because a lot of time, especially mothers who are at the stage of birthing and raising little toddlers, and just this perfect. I'm a perfect example of that stage where I have a 4 year old, 4 year old. She's going to be 4 in September, and a 10 month old baby. Yeah. So a lot of us too, we struggle with this habit thing, forming a structure, because we've always been told, oh, you have to make our time for this, make our time for this, put structures in place to help you do that. And to be more reasonable, we've been told you can do things like reading the Bible on the go, multitasking. When you're doing this, you can just put on your Bible listening app and use
That's
all of
very
that.
true.
The worship, you can turn
Yeah,
on music
yeah,
and connect to God,
Yeah.
and all of that. And that is just making it more practical
Yeah.
and more reasonable, because
That's very
yes, because looking at it, you can't tell your toddler, go away now, it's time for this.
Yeah, good luck with that.
She's gonna feel awful, like mommy doesn't want me. Yeah, and that's the reality of it. Just adjust.
And even if she doesn't feel it,
Adjust.
she would go away for how long?
Yeah,
1 minute? 3 minutes?
that's true. And the little one will definitely cry.
Yeah.
So
No, but you're absolutely right. There are, I just didn't think that, but exactly what you said. I will put worship in the car all the time. So when I'm driving the kids to places, there's worship on. I will put a preach or the Bible app on so that I can be listening while I'm chopping vegetables and washing dishes and cooking. And
Can I say something
really,
that we've learned? So actually, we struggled so between our first two, it's only 18 months.
okay.
And then another 3 years, and we had all three. So the first two together, really
A
difficult.
handful.
Okay. I think what really helped us at that time, and maybe that would help someone. You see, before having kids, you had certain habits.
Oh yeah.
Regardless they were good, bad, it doesn't really matter. But we have to discern, okay, that these habits that worked and were really good and were even successful in the previous season, we need to discern that there has been a change of seasons. Like when Susie was saying, being a single is not like when you're married, okay? That's a change of season, okay? When you get kids, that's another change of season, okay? So you have to figure out the habits that would work for that season. So the fact, for example, that, oh yeah, when I had, all my time and so on, I would spend 3 hours, 4 hours in a quiet time and so on. Yeah, that's not there anymore. It can happen once in a week or whatever. That's not available because the season doesn't allow for that. Okay, it's like when you are in fall, and then if you're trying to look for a fruit on the tree or even sometimes leaves, it's not there. Okay, you have to think about what is appropriate for that season. So sometimes, as a busy mother, and rightly so, that's your season. It's not something that is a burden. This is a part of how God is blessing you and your calling in life. So I need to learn now, as I was trying to learn how to be a husband. Okay, I need now to learn how to be in that season. So some people can't relate to God unless things are quiet.
The doors are shut
in the green fields and it's sunny
oh
and
goodness.
Yeah,
it won't be realistic at that stage.
It won't happen. So I have to learn how to relate to God
in the midst of the chaos,
in the noise, and and there is a way. God is not only reachable when it's quiet and no, okay. But I am not used to it. I haven't learned. So it's a time to almost relearn things, and this is why it's difficult. But there is grace for it.
Praise God.
One of the things that I found helpful is when Maggie's away and I'm struggling, is to just call a friend and say, pray for me. And we'd be on the phone and I'd be at home and I'd be doing stuff still, putting the washing machine. So
healthy relationships.
Put her on speaker and we'd be praying together, and then when I get a minute to sit down and focus even more, it's just so it makes such a difference. Yeah, that somebody's standing with me, lifting my hands up when I'm.
There's just an absolute feeling that comes with someone praying for you.
Yeah.
The person who chaired my wedding, he's late now, God rest his soul. At some point we went to visit him and he was like, oh, my wife and I never goes 3 days without praying for you. And that at that moment I felt grateful. I felt relieved. Yeah. I felt so happy that someone actually prays for me. Like it makes me believe that even those times when I'm not able to pray the way I want to pray, at least I still have covering over my head, and it's such an amazing time. So this is just to say that even while we are we find ourselves in this situation where life is lifing, things are happening, we can't get a hold of event timings and structures and all of
Yeah.
that. Intentional relationships matters a lot, and they can play a great role in
Absolutely.
it. So it's something we
Absolutely.
have to look into as well
Absolutely.
as individuals. Don't struggle alone, don't grow alone, don't go through life alone.
Yes.
God says be fruitful and multiply. I'm not sure he meant just be single and keep going and growing and bearing fruit. You need helps, you need hands, you need people of like minds to share your struggle with, because you never know, even your struggle may form an encouragement to someone else who is going through that same thing. And
Mhm.
sometimes how you handle your struggles and come out victorious, if you're telling somebody else, it can be the solution to that person's problem at that time. So intentional relationship matters. And I want to ask again, did you ever have disagreements? Did it cause tension in ministry? And how did you handle it? Did it ever happen?
Of course.
How did you handle
We're
it?
normal people. Of course, you'd have.
We fight.
Yeah, the key is to have a good fight. No, the fact that you have disagreements, or because you have different views, and as well you are impacted by different things, especially at the moment. So it's not just that I might see that issue from a different perspective than yours, but as well what is affecting me. So yes, we can have that. The issue is when you have it, when it's flagged up, how do you deal with it? Okay, even when it gets heated. Okay, do you stomp your feet and get more stubborn and so on? And
Sometimes.
absolutely, and then you will learn from it, and you will learn. Oh, it didn't help because it doesn't. Okay, and as well, the other person learns. Okay, maybe I need to give it some time. This is not the best time to discuss that. Let them cool off for a bit. Okay, so you cannot learn wisdom while you're staying at home reading a book. Okay, you learn wisdom as you're walking with God through experiences, or even if you weren't going with God, you go through an experience so that you go back and say,
I've seen my foolishness.
so sorry. Okay, what do I need to do now? And God doesn't just say what you need to do. He says, for me, for example, he would say, well, so Magdi, why do you think you've done that? Have you noticed? Did you see this? And sometimes he would talk to me about something that had nothing to do with the situation. It was before the situation. You were carrying this in your heart. And the wisdom that hopefully I grew in, okay, is I need to keep my heart clean. So, and it's not like I'm keeping it clean, like I need to go and so yes, disagreements will happen, issues will happen, then almost unavoidable. Okay. But how to handle them, that's the issue. And you can grow. You can grow and grow and grow and grow and get better and better. For example, Susie was talking about emotions, how to handle emotions, how to not be affected by them, how to understand, oh, it's this thing. Okay, calm down. Don't make it personal. Okay. So we would have something, and I would feel it's about me. Okay. And then, why are you making it about you? And then I was thinking, who is it about? We're the only two people here, Why are you making it about yourself? And then, oh, wow, it's not. And the focus then.
Something I find helpful is sitting down with a pen and a paper and writing down, kind of brainstorming. You know how you brainstorm? You just write, I feel angry, upset, hurt. And then when I start writing the emotions, because usually they're emotions being the woman, then I start saying, well, what is hurting me? The Lord will ask me, and then I'll put, I feel hurt because of this. And then because of this, I feel that. And this led to this. And then I start seeing like a map of how my emotions and my thoughts. And then after I've written it down, I just look at it. And immediately the Lord will start telling me, Susie, this is a lie. And this is a lie. And the truth is. So I get another colored paper, pen, and I start writing just where I've written everything where God says this is a lie, I put the truth. Like, for example, I feel hurt because I felt I'm rubbish. Or this is the message that I received from Magdi through the conversation or through the discussion or through the disagreement, or put down, and then the Lord will challenge that and say, but that's not true. But that's not what I'm saying about you. Sometimes it will be because Magdi said something that is true and I don't like it, because he can see that this is a bit of my flesh that needs to die.
Yeah.
And then I write, well, my calling is, I want to follow me, deny yourself, carry your cross every day and follow me. And so the Lord will then speak to me about those things. And well, because I've written them down, they're not all going in my head and my heart, and it's like all a mess. But then I can start repenting for things and say, sorry, Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this, and I'm sorry about that. I want to speak your truth. I want to live by your truth. And I can go and say sorry to Magdi. Sorry that I acted this way. Sorry that I said that. It was hurtful. Sorry, whatever it was.
And sometimes as well saying, when you're saying something like that, can you actually say it this way? You know, sometimes when I'm talking to others, you would say, well, you can say that there. That wasn't. Okay? And sometimes he would let what I said as it is.
Yeah.
But it's going to go. But I think the beauty of what Susie does, and I've seen that helping many people, is that sometimes when you are agitated and emotionally aroused, it's like many things are racing in your mind, many thoughts, feeling, and you can't really think clearly. And that helps to not just offload everything, but as well get you to think clearer. But Susie does that with God. Like she empties stuff and then she's listening. So God is telling her, so why is this? And that's a lie. And she's listening. So I've seen that helping many people.
But another thing that is very important as a basis is that Magdi is the gift of God in my life.
Oh,
he's the man.
And because
I'm not the man.
I'm talking about the gift, not the man.
He's the man. And in my submission to him, this is something the Lord told me. He said to me, Susie, do you trust me? I said, but Lord, but to see what he's doing or what he's saying, and do you trust me? Do you trust that I am above you and that I am able to keep you, both of you, and your children, even if he's not doing the right thing? And I was reminded with Abraham, for example, the man of faith, the father of faith. He goes to Egypt and he's so scared because his wife is pretty. Oh, he's going to kill me. They're going to kill me to have her. And he does the wrong thing. He says, don't say that you're my wife. Was that right?
No.
But God was faithful and is faithful and will always be. So even if, because Magdi is a human being, he might decide on something wrong, or in the discussion, we might come to something that he thinks is the right thing to do, or the best thing to do, or the best way forward. And I don't think so. But in my submission, I am saying to the Lord, you are God, and you are the one responsible for this.
Yeah.
Even when we mess up, when I mess up, or when we mess up.
Susie usually says the wife's submission is her sacrifice of faith, of trust to God.
Okay.
So, which is true. She's not submitting to me because I'm worthy of submission. She's submitting to me because she trusts God's way.
And that's why it's important to choose wisely who you marry, because that's who you're going to be submitting to. That's so profound. That's profound. In hindsight, what would you say made or is making your marriage and ministry fruitful?
Is it?
Of course it is, because it's blessing life.
Well, we hope so. If it is at all, whatever is good and is happening, whether to people or in our marriage or to our kids, it would be from God. Again, we're very simple. So if there is any good, it's coming from Him, and it comes from Him when we allow Him to have a say and some space. So if anything is making anything work in our lives, if we really, really look at what made it work, is that I or Susie or both of us gave God a chance to say what he wanted to say, or to be in the room or in the situation. Like you were just talking about heated discussions or whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they happen. Okay. But let's say, for example, that Susie gave room for God to be in this thing, and then it turned around and not just got resolved, but as well we learned the groove from it. So all the good that came out is because we gave him a chance to have his say and to be in the room and rule, okay, or affect us. And then from that grows. And nothing because, you see, the thing is, we had those budgets and those plans and those habits and those. No, because we're not like that to start with. But it's not because we planned well or we budgeted well or we had those, practices and habits and so on. Not all.
Although these things are good.
Yeah.
But
we're not belittling. I'm
Yeah.
saying whatever, really, it's not
just
because
an addition.
In our situation, it was because of we were smart about this or we were wise about that. Not really, not at all. It's just, if we've done anything, it's just that we came to a point and we listened to him. We allowed him to do something. That's it.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Making God the center of it all. Yeah. And what single advice will you give to intending couples or younger couples who want to serve God together? It may not be in full missionary world, but as Christians, I believe we are created to serve God. So what single advice will you give to us, the younger ones who want to serve God as a couple as well? Whether we are in the marketplace, in the workplace, anywhere, what advice will you give to us?
I was struggling at some point to serve somebody, and I felt taken advantage of. And the Lord just directed me to when he met with Peter after Peter denied him. And he said to him, Peter, do you love me? Do you love me more than those? And I think that is number one thing. Because when I love him, I will serve him. Whether we're doing it together or whatever, this is the basis. I want to do everything I do because I love him. Not because it's important, not because it's a good thing, not because that's the purpose of life, not because of anything else, but because I love him. And it's not easy, but that's the only meaningful thing. So love Jesus.
Love Jesus.
And the fruit of that will be whatever comes out.
So profound.
Don't think of ministry as an activity.
Yeah.
Don't think of as well that, we look humans, and that's by God design. We need to achieve something. So sometimes, sadly, we make ministry our achievement. Okay, so we're like really hot on ministry because we want to be that our life amounted to something. And you see, if you really look at that sentence, it's about me. That my life amounted to something. That I left a legacy. That I was achieved or actualized. Or the more you make life as a couple or as an individual just about him, knowing him, and as you're knowing him, you're getting changed, and therefore, as you're being changed to him. So you're more aligned with what he cares for, but as well how he cares for. So naturally, you're doing things with him, by him, and for him. The more we can grow, and we're still growing. Okay, I don't think we would ever stop growing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that we're there. Okay, we're trying to grow in this. But the more it is like that, you will find ministry first, lifestyle. If we can call it like that. It's just life. It's just how we live. It's not an added thing. It's not a job. or it's not an activity, or it's not ministry.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just
Life.
So why do you love your neighbor? What do you mean? Like, you won't love your neighbor? Okay, why are you helping that person? Why wouldn't I help that person? And therefore, we would be doing it together, right? Because if she is moving towards Jesus just because of Jesus, and I'm moving towards Jesus just because of Jesus, we will be quite close. We will find each other,
Yeah.
and we will be united because we're united about Him and about His things. But if I'm moving towards Jesus, but from a different heart, because I want to, okay, we won't necessarily fight each other, because actually we're in competition, because she's moving as well because she wants to be, I don't know, an amazing leader, and okay. So just make it about Him and love Him, and loving Him. It's a life journey, learning how to really, really love. And then it will get perfected and completed, when we see Him.
Well, it's been a lot to take in. Actually, it's been a lot to take in, a lot of lessons to learn and to grow in, because it's one thing to marry someone who also wants to serve God, and it's another thing doing the journey, doing the actual serving as you're going. And it's been a lot, and I'm most grateful for this opportunity. I hope your buckets are full as well as mine is, because it's been amazing. It's been amazing opening my eyes to some things that I wouldn't have seen on my own. Loving Jesus, and that's just how to serve Him. Love Him, then you'll serve Him. I think that's actually the blueprint of marriage as well. Yeah. When you love your spouse, you want to serve your spouse, anything to make them happy. Yeah, because you no longer see them as another person, you see them as yourself. And that's basically it. Love Jesus and you'll find yourself serving Him. It's been a whole lot. It's been a whole lot. I'm still going to sit back down, and with my husband this time around, we're gonna sit down and watch this video over again, because a lot has been said, a lot, and practical too, that if we should put it into action, it's gonna cause powerful transformations. Yeah. And the last question for the day: what would you want people to look at your life as a couple, and your service to God? What would you people to look? What would you want people to see, or to feel, or to experience when they see you? They see the way you're serving God together. I know that, I think this is a bit of a more personal question. Yeah. How do you want people to see you? How do you want people to see what you are doing when they see you, or when they remember you?
I think for me, my longing is that when people see me, they see Jesus and they know they're loved.
Wow.
And all they say about me is, she loved Jesus.
Glory to God.
That's
The peak.
my dream.
That's so amazing.
Same, really. Let me put it in a different language. When I die, if there are still people who, I was in touch with, and for a reason that would be weird to me, they are remembering me, I would like them to say, well, Jesus came to me through that person, and I've learned that Jesus is really nice, great, and He deserves to be worshipped with the whole of life, and that He loves me. Like, I really don't care for people to remember me at all. If they would remember Jesus, if Jesus would reach them, and it happened that it was through me, partially or whatever. Yeah. But apart from that, don't need to be remembered.
Oops. That is in general, everything that's been shared in this room today just speaks of reflecting about our journey with Jesus, reflecting our journey with Jesus as individuals who have become one according to the scriptures, and as individuals who also have their lives even while in marriage. And I hope that it's been one session where you've gathered a lot, and you are able to say that you were touched. Jesus touched you. through them, through their words, through the things they've shared with us. And I hope your soul remain blessed. We've come to the end of today's episode, guys, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. It's been a journey. I hope to see you next time. Do have a pleasant rest of the day.